Good morning, children. This is the lecture for class 8 biology, and again we are taking chapter number 2 reproduction in plants. This is lecture number 5. So in the last topic, children, we have studied about the types of asexual reproduction. In that lecture we have studied about binary fission, budding, fragmentation, spore formation, as well as vegetative reproduction, or you can say vegetative propagation. Vegetative propagation is again of two types, that is natural and artificial. So natural types, reproduction by stem, reproduction by leaf, reproduction by root, that we have studied in the previous lecture. Now today the topic that we are going to take is artificial reproduction. So that is the topic that we are going to discuss today. So what is artificial? As the name is there, artificial. Artificial means that is man-made, that is done by man. So in this type of reproduction, the farmers, the horticulturists, they develop certain artificial method. Okay, for example, we take the artificial reproduction. It is of mainly 4 types, that is cutting, layering, grafting, and the 4th type is micropropagation. Now first, one by one we are going to take. First type is cutting. Now this cutting, as the name is cutting, so all of you must have seen sugar cane. So in sugar cane, what if we see that, suppose this is a sugar cane. Now in this sugar cane, the sugar cane, if we see, it can be divided into nodes and internodes, and every part of that internode, it contain a bud. So what we do, the farmers, what they do, they cut those parts containing buds with them. These are the auxiliary buds. So they make different this type of cuttings, they cut and they plant those cuttings into the moist soil. So what they have done in this method, they have done cutting. So after cutting, they have taken a single part and then they have planted that part into the soil. So that method, in which they are taking small pieces that bear the auxiliary buds and they put them into the soil. So that is a simple method, that is called cutting. Mainly it is done in sugarcane, China rose and lemon plant, etc. Many plants are there. So 3 examples already given in your book. The second type of artificial vegetative propagation is layering. In layering, what we do, suppose this is a plant. Okay, now plant is growing. Now when the stem of the plant is growing, it will get the nodes and internodes. So what we do, we take one node and we put that node inside the soil. Now from that part again the roots start developing. Again there will be a growth. Again we put that part into the soil. I can give you the example of mint. Mint means pudina that we use at home. So rose is there, jasmine is there. So this type of plant, we just take the stem of that plant and we put inside the soil. So what we do when we are putting that part inside the soil, we just remove the bark from that part for the easy growth of the plant. So what we are doing, we are making the layers of that plant. So again, this is done by man. The plant is not able to do it by itself. So this is layering we are doing. So that is done by man. So that is again a method of artificial vegetative propagation. The second method is layering. So it is also done mainly in mint. As I told you, mint is pudina that we use at home, as well as rose and jasmine flower. The third type of artificial propagation is grafting. Now grafting is, in this what we do, we take a small shoot or a bud of a desired variety of plant. Okay, so that part, you can see in that picture, we have made that part blunt, the lower part blunt. So that part will be called as cycon. Another part, we take a simple stem and we cut that part from between. So it will be look like that, means that part is the opened part. Now what we are going to do, we are going to fix that part inside that part. So that part that we are going to fix inside the stalk, that is called scion. So that scion we are going to put inside the stalk. The part in which we are going to put that scion, that is called stalk. Now when we put both the parts together, that is the scion, and that is the stalk. So, and we tie that part with any thread, maybe tape, maybe cloth. After that, that will be it will start the growth and it will turn into a simple plant. Why we do such type of plant? Suppose we want to get a good quality of plant of related species. So we use the stem of a scion of different plant and the stalk of a scion of different plant and the stalk of different plant. And when we attach together, we get a more improved hybrid variety. So that is a process in which we are grafting one stem into the another. So that is called as grafting. The fourth process of artificial vegetative propagation is micropropagation. That is a propagation of plant which is done by tissue culture technique. Now what is that tissue culture technique? Now that is a simple process in which if suppose the buds, if the plant is not able to form seed, in that case only, if the plant is not able to do the propagation vegetatively, then we apply that process of tissue culture technique. Now what we do, if vegetative propagation is not possible, then we take the buds or the shoot apex or any other suitable part of the plant, and that part we call it explant. We take that part and we treat that part with some sterilization chemicals. Okay, why we treat them with some chemicals? Just to prevent the microbial growth on those parts. Now we put those small parts. Suppose we have taken a small bud of any plant. Now we are growing it inside one culture. Okay, now what we have done, we have put some sterilized solution in that. Why we have put? So it will not be affected by any microbes. Now we are going to put it inside the nutrient medium. Why nutrient medium? Because the plant need nutrients for the growth. So we are putting it inside the nutrient medium. Now after some time what will happen? The plant will start the growth. The cell will start growth and they form a callus like structure. We can call it callus. Callus like structure means in which the leaves, the stem or other parts of the plants are not identifiable, but the callus will look like a plant. So but if we try to separate the different part, it is not possible for us to separate the part at that time when it is forming a callus. Now we are going to add some growth hormones. After that, the callus differentiate into parts which will look like a plant, and those parts will be called as plantlets. Now these plantlets we are going to transfer into the soil, and these plants again they will grow as a normal plant. But this micropropagation we have done in that case when the vegetative propagation is not possible, then the farmers, the horticulturists, they apply those artificial method of growth. So that is a tissue culture in which we have made a culture of a tissue and then we are able to form a plant. So that process is called as micropropagation. Now we have studied the four things, that is cutting, layering, grafting and micropropagation. Now these are all artificial propagation. Now what are the advantages of the micro propagation? If we are growing a plant by a tissue, what will be the advantage? If we have the parts of the plant, then it is easy for us to grow a plant. But if we don't have the seed, how we can grow the plant? We have done the process of layering, we have done the process of cutting or grafting, but again the plant is not able to form. Then only we have used a small parts of the plant to grow a new plant. So what are the advantages? Now what are the advantages of tissue culture? Now tissue culture, because we have used a plant, so exact copy of the plant required that have been desirable traits. Okay, the plant that we will get after micropropagation, we will get the exact copy of the plant that we want. We have taken the buds from that plant, we have taken any other part of that plant, so same type of plant we will get in return. No need of seed. Without seed also we are able to grow plants. large number of plants can be produced in a short period of time. Okay, because callus, many small plantlets are there. So each plantlet we can put inside the soil. The chemicals, as I told you, in micropropagation we use some chemicals. So because of those chemicals, the plant increases the capacity to resist against the biocide chemicals. Okay, environmental stress, and competitive to survive over weeds. If weeds are there, extra plants are there, then also the plant will be able to survive. New improved variety of crops can be produced within a short period of time with the help of micropropagation. These are the some advantages of the plant. Now there are some disadvantages also. What are the disadvantages of tissue culture? So that is, as it is given in your book, the a limitation of tissue culture. So what are the limitation? First thing is that it require a lot of scientific expertise. They should know how much chemical we should add, how much growth hormone we should give. So they require a lot of scientific expertise. It cannot be applied in all the cases. All the plants are not able to form by buds by their apex, the shoot apex or the root apex. So it is not possible in all the cases. It is not easily applicable in remote agricultural area. Okay, because everyone is not able to grow such type of plant, especially in the remote areas. So the people, they don't have the knowledge of growing that type of plant. Even they don't know what type of hormones, which type of sterilization chemicals they can use. So these are the certain limitations of the tissue culture. So now asexual reproduction, that topic is over. Now the next topic that we are going to take today is sexual reproduction in plants. Okay, so as the word is sexual, so in that reproduction occur with the help of flower. Okay, so first explaining the asexual reproduction to you, I would like to explain you some of the parts of the plant. So I have a flower. Main reproductive part of the plant is flower, because flower is only helping the plant to reproduce. That flower that I have taken, that is a hibiscus flower. Okay, now you can say, children, in this flower I have taken that stalk of the flower. This is the stalk of the flower from where I am holding it. Next we have this greenish part. Okay, this greenish part we have in the plant, these are called as sepals. We have that colorful part, that is called as petals. Many sepals are there. If we count them, 4 to 5 sepals are almost there in the plant. So that is called as calyx. And the colorful part of the flower, that is a petal. When many petals they combine together, they form a corolla. Now you can see this type of structure, elongated structure in the flower. So that elongated structure, it is the long structure that you can see, a long structure till this upper part. So that 4-5 this structure you can see in the plant. So this complete part make the female part of the flower, that is called carpel or the gynoecium. Now other than that, you can see a small this structures in the flower. So what are these? These are these are called as the stamen. Okay, stamen. If I am going to show you a single part, you can say in that stamen you can see this thread like structure is there, and on the thread like structure small anthers are also there. So this a single part of the plant, that is called as androecium. Okay, or it is also called as the stamen. Is that clear? Now I will explain the structure of this flower in the copy. You can see that flower, as I have explained you, that this is the stalk by which we can hold a flower. These are the sepals, greenish part of the flower. These are the sepals. One single is called sepal. When they combine together, they form a calyx. Petals are there. The colorful part of the flower is petal. When petals combine together, they form corolla. And the stamens, in this flower, we have shown the stamens from here. Okay, these are the stamens. You can see these stamens. And this long structure that is called as carpel. These are the main part of the plant. So completely the flower, it forms 4 holes. One hole is calyx, second is corolla, third is stamen, fourth is carpel. Now again I am explaining you the structure of carpel because it is very important when you are going to understand the reproduction in plants, especially the sexual reproduction in plants. So in this we can see the upper part is called as stigma. That is the structure of gynoecium. That is also called carpel. That is the female reproductive part of the flower. So that is stigma. That pipe-like structure is called style, and that rounded structure is called ovary, and inside the ovary small ovules are present. That I will explain you when I will explain you the process of fertilization. So this is the main structure of gynoecium. If we talk about the androecium, that is the main reproductive part of the plant, it contains 2 parts. That is the anther, and the long thread-like structure, it is called as filament. Now I have shown this type of structure on that. So these structures are called pollen grains. So main part of the flower are this carpel and stamen. These are the main part of the flower. Other parts are also main, but these parts mainly they help in the sexual reproduction in the flower. Okay, so just you have to draw these diagrams in your copy and learn the diagram. Further, how the fertilization occur, how the pollen grains are passing from one flower to another, that we are going to explain in our new lecture number 6. So please read the chapter carefully and learn all the parts of the flower. Thank you, children.